One man who knows all about the Cool Fab Racing Championship is back this weekend in his role as ambassador for the series, giving his time for free in mentoring and supporting the kids. Earlier, I spoke to the Bournemouth Kawasaki JG Speedfit rider, Luke Mossey. Luke, great to see you back here at Cool Fab Racing once more. You've been a great supporter of the series the last couple of years, particularly after your recent 2 wins at Brands Hatch. You had a couple of moments there at Brands Hatch. It nearly went pear-shaped for you. Fortunately, you stayed on, but great win. Just talk us through that weekend, first of all.
Yeah, really good. We had our 2017 engine turn up on the Wednesday before Brands, and we put it in for Friday morning and straight from the off. Once we got it out the crate, you know, the bike was fantastic, and you know, we didn't really change much from round 1 at Donington Park. So yeah, we won outside the top 4 all weekend, and then we qualified in second for the race 1 and got our first win. So you know, we was pretty happy with that, and then, you know, coming to race 2, we've done our first double as well. So yeah, just really happy, and, you know, can't thank the JG Speedfit team enough.
Yeah, get your first win and then it becomes a habit, doesn't it? Go on to win race 2, and obviously a lot more wins during the season, hopefully. But just explain your history for those that don't know. Just explain your history as a rider with Fab Racing and Cool Fab Racing as it is now. How did you start?
Well, I started on a PW50 when I was 4 years old, and then my dad took me to one of the Cool Fab Racing meetings when I was at the age of 6, and yeah, that was sort of the stepping stone in our career. And, you know, we started racing mini bikes, I think, when we was just 6.5, and then you know, we was on them for a couple of years, and then we progressed onto the Metro kits, and then yeah, then we moved to Spain on a Metro kit as well in the Spanish Championship, and then come back to UK in 2009 and been here ever since. So you know, this Cool Fab Racing series is such a great stepping stone for the younger riders and the young talents to come through, and, you know, this sort of where I started, and a lot of the other riders started in the British Superbike series.
Tell us all about Cool Fab Racing, your involvement, and what's it all about?
Great. Cool Fab Racing is a British Minibike Championship, 8 rounds all around the country, and it's about preparing and inspiring young riders to move up to the top of the sport. So they come and race with us from the age of 6 to 13, slowly progressing up the different classes, and at the end we hopefully create lots of British champions. We've got a great track record. Luke Mossey, who is down here this morning, Danny Kent's got ready. They all came through this championship, and our ambition is to create even more British champions.
So if somebody has got, maybe watching this, got kids at home, 5, 6 years of age, thinking about a motorcycling future for them, how do they get in touch?
Best thing is to go on the website, coolfabracing.com. There's information on there how to get started. The first thing is to go to academy. So Scott Redding has a fantastic academy in Swindon. Go along there, they'll give you your very first lesson, one-on-one tuition, and really get you going. Once you get your skill levels up and your confidence up and you're ready to start racing, you can come and join us.
The first race this weekend is the Minimoto Rookie class. Here's your race commentator, Motorsport Media's Alex Raby.
9 points separating the top 2, Woodcock and Phillips, but it's Woodcock who very much has the advantage here, despite having only qualified down in 4th position, with his main championship rival Orlando Phillips down in 7th position on the grid. We'll see if Phillips can make some progress from that 4th row of the grid. He'll be directly behind Saffron Watley, who starts in P5, Luca Hopkins starting in P3, and Harrison Crosby on pole position. So that's on the left-hand side of the grid, the right-hand side of the grid, as you look at it facing the start line. Harrison Crosby on P1, Sullivan Mountey alongside him. Remember, yet to score a first point in this 2017 season, so could do with a race victory and a series of race victories. Of course, there's 3 scoring races in every category through the weekend. We're about to get underway. The riders watching for the lights then, and they scramble down towards the first turn. A decent start actually from Jamie Woodcock in P4, the current championship leader, around the outside and challenging Luca Hopkins. Actually moves in front of Luca Hopkins, but then gets stuck out on the outside and ends up getting brushed aside going through the chicane. So the top 4 in the positions as they were leaving the grid, with Harrison Crosby making a decent getaway ahead of Sullivan Mountey in 2nd position. The top 2 starting to break clear from 3rd position, which is held by Luca Hopkins, having staved off the attentions of Jamie Woodcock on the opening 2 turns. It was a good break from Woodcock. He had the outside run and made it work, but then got stuck on the outside of the left-hander, and the sharp turn it is as well. He was unable to do anything to move through into 3rd position, and actually from P4, the current championship leader starting to drop back. It's Harrison Crosby making the break out in front, with Sullivan Mountey looking wider and trying something slightly different as they they come towards the end of the opening lap. Crosby leading the way then, Mounty in second position, ahead of Hopkins, and then a gap to the championship leader, Jamie Woodcock, in fourth. The current second place rider, Orlando Phillips, finishing down in 7th position in qualifying. It's Sullivan Mouncy then who leads the way ahead of Harrison Crosby in 2nd position, Luca Hopkins in 3rd, Jamie Woodcock in 4th position. Phillips immediately making progress up to 5th place at the end of the opening lap. Harrison Crosby dropping back then 1 position, with Sullivan Mouncy coming through to occupy the race lead. Coming around the top end of the circuit then and out towards the Simpson Straight. And back down towards Paddock Bend. At the moment then, it's a question of how quickly Orlando Phillips can make progress, having started down in 7th position in the early stages, working his way through up into 5th position at the end of the opening lap. They now cross the line to complete lap number 2. It's still Sullivan Mouncy who leads the way, with Harrison Crosby in 2nd, Luca Hopkins in 3rd, Jamie Woodcock, the current championship leader, in 4th position. Orlando Phillips already up to 5th, but not making too much further progress from there. Packed closely together in the top 3 positions. There was just a second between the top 3. Well, less than a second between the top 3, really. Jamie Woodcock then in 4th position. A bit of a gap behind the top 3 and to the remainder of that pack. Orlando Phillips trying to work his way through from P5. He was just under half a second from Jamie Woodcock, the current championship leader. In terms of the championship battle, those two riders sit 4th and 5th at the moment, the top 2 in the series overall. So an opportunity for a few of their rivals to try and make back some ground here as we work our way back down towards Paddock Bend to complete the 3rd lap of the race. Over the line once again then, it's Sullivan Mouncy who leads the way, a 56.4 on that last lap. So Harrison Crosby now matching his pace, a new personal best for the majority of the riders in the top 8. Only Sullivan Mouncy not improving on his previous best, and Harrison Crosby gaining a little bit of ground. You can see it's nice and tight between those top 2. The gap starting to grow between the remainder of the pack, but the top 3 are very closely packed together. Mouncy in front, Crosby in 2nd, Hopkins starting to be dropped back slightly in 3rd position, but all within half a second of one another last time around, and Hopkins was the fastest of this trio and coming at them from 3rd position. So he challenges through the chicane as Harrison Crosby looks to the inside of Sullivan Mouncy, who missed the opening round and has a lot of points to make up, clearly, in the context of the championship overall, with the top score at the opening round scoring 70. That's a lot of points to haul in, but it's been a promising start from Sullivan Mouncy. A new fastest lap of the race from Harrison Crosby in P2. It's only a slight gain, though, on Mouncy, with the gap still at just over 0.2 of a second between the top 2. Luca Hopkins sitting in 3rd position. All of the top 3 running 55.9s last lap around. Whether that means they're holding back one another's pace at this stage remains to be seen. Jamie Woodcock, the current championship leader, some way adrift now of the top 3. 5 seconds in arrears in 4th position. 5th place with Orlando Phillips, who after bursting through from 7th to 5th in the run in the opening lap, has then been stuck in 5th position and unable to make any further progress. He's still half a second behind Jamie Woodcock, as he has been for the majority of these opening laps. We're halfway through now this race number 1 in the AC40 Rookies category, and the top trio are starting to negotiate lap traffic and try and work their way through as they come off Paddock Bend to complete lap number 5. Mouncy only narrowly in front from Harrison Crosby, the gap down to less than 0.2 of a second now. Luca Hopkins, as I said on the previous lap, has dropped back slightly, and Crosby is certainly going after the race leader. He tries to go wider in through there, in towards 180, and see if he can then get the cut back and see if he'll be aided by any of the back markers here. Not so far. He looks up to the inside though, and it looks as though he may have made that pass successfully either side of the back marker, and it was Crosby who went the right way, and he's managed to hit the front. So it's Harrison Crosby then in front now from Sullivan Mouncy, who's going to have to try and remount his assault from 2nd position. He's running wider around the eternal top bend that leads into the S's. It tightens up here, and Crosby it is who holds position as they come through the left-right, and we have a fall for Sullivan Mouncy, who was giving it everything to get back on the tail of Harrison Crosby, and he's just come down and flipped it, and Mouncy then obviously down on the deck with the early race leader now out of contention for the race victory, and Harrison Crosby, the new race leader. Crosby had already made it through. Mousey was trying to recapture the position, just coming through the S's and onto the Simpson Straight and losing it, and that's given well, the others in the top 4 obviously an opportunity to be promoted into the podium positions, with Harrison Crosby now leading by over 7 seconds from Jamie Woodcock in second position. Orlando Phillips almost a second back in third, and Ethan Sparks also separated from Phillips by a sizable margin. So Orlando Phillips, by working his way through the field from 7th and up to 4th, has ended up moving his way back into a podium position and on the tail of Jamie Woodcock. In terms of the championship battle, it's 2nd and 3rd positions that are key for the moment. Jamie Woodcock and Orlando Phillips, the top 2 in the championship in that order, separated by 9 points coming into the second weekend of the campaign, and at the moment they're separated by less than a second. Crosby is away and gone out in front, over 7 seconds clear. The race is for second, Woodcock versus Phillips. The gap narrowing all the time and still pretty tight between those two as they try to work their way through lap traffic, and that's what caused the position changes up front, or certainly facilitated them for Harrison Crosby, who still leads away with a 55.9, his personal best, 57.4 his lap last time around. He's now so comfortable that he can ease it up as we head on to a red flag situation now. The red flags are out, and that's going to bring a halt to proceedings here.
With Luca Hopkins and Sullivan Mousey crashing out on the same lap from 3rd and 2nd, Crosby will go on to take the win from Woodcock, the championship leader, Philip Sparks, and Saffron Watley getting her first top 5 finish. A big well done to her.